an amazing container of homemade ice cream. Look at all that goodness. We are going to make some peach cobbler. So I'm going to keep the ice cream in the freezer, of course, while the peach cobbler is making. So the first thing that we're going to do is get a large pan. You can get a square 9 by 13 pan or just any kind of casserole pan, any kind of glass kind of flat pan for your peach cobbler. You can also use some cake pans sometimes, but I prefer to use glass because you can always tell better from the bottom after it's been in the oven for a while whether it's done or not, especially with a pie as well. You can always tell if the bottom is slightly brown, then usually it's done. So glass is definitely handy for that. So you're gonna have your glass pan and you're gonna get some butter. So we're going to just get a stick of butter, and we're probably not going to use the whole stick, but we're going to use most of the stick. And we're going to slice that into the bottom of the pan. And you're going to go ahead and turn your oven on to 350, which is usually just the basic bake setting. And you turn it on to 350, let it preheat. And we're actually going to just slice up this butter in the pan. Okay, so we're gonna slice the butter. Don't break your pan though. There's Langston going in the background. Hi, Langston. He's so nice. And you just kind of want to slice it into smallish pieces, enough to where you can kind of sprinkle those pieces around the pan. I like to do squares. Some people do larger pieces, but I don't know. I like to do squares. And just kind of make sure that there's enough to evenly coat the pan. So we probably don't need quite all of this. So I'm probably just going to do this one more. And then that's good. So about that much butter. Make sure it's nice and spread out. And then you're gonna pop this into the oven where it's just gonna basically melt the butter, and it's just gonna melt the butter while the oven is preheating. Sorry, I can't be in the camera and also have what I'm doing with my hands in the camera. Also, butter is, you know, sometimes nice to rub into your hands because it's nice and oily. So then we're going to get our batter started. Now if you make peach cobbler during regular peach season, you're going to want to have fresh peaches, I'm sure. But for this, because it's not fresh peach season, the peaches at the store honestly didn't look that great. You up, Mama? Hey, Mama, press play. Move me. There you go. Come back. So we're gonna just go ahead and use the sliced peaches. You're gonna use a couple cans of them. And you're also gonna need that syrup. So if you want, you can kind of set those aside. I'm gonna just use 2 cans of sliced peaches today. So setting those aside, and then we're going to get a nice bowl, probably about this size of a bowl, and we're gonna make the batter for the pan. And then think I have just enough flour left to make peach cobbler. So I'm gonna pour in about, it might be about a cup or so of flour. Add a little bit of sugar, not much because there's a lot of sugar in the actual peaches, so just want like a little sprinkling of sugar to kind of help the batter blend with the peach filling. We're also going to be needing cinnamon in this, so we're going to set that aside with the peaches over here. Cinnamon. So we've got flour and sugar. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to that, as well as some baking powder. So you're going to want to take, I usually just use the lid to scoop it out, kind of like 2-ish scoops of baking powder, and then a little bit of salt. Kind of a little pinch of salt. And I'm just going to use my fingernails to kind of stir that up. If you want, you can use something more sophisticated. I like to feel of it so that I can kind of feel that it has the right amount of sugar and salt mixed in with the flour. You just want to make sure all of those ingredients are combined before you add the milk. And for this one, I actually out of regular milk, so I'm going to use a little bit of almond milk, which I've used in my ice cream as well, and a little bit of half and half. I don't know why, just because I kind of want to make it sort of creamier. So you can kind of substitute. You can probably use all almond milk if you're lactose intolerant, or you could probably use all half and half. That'd be super fattening. The ice cream has enough to make. So you want to kind of stir that around to the point where it's kind of combined. You want it to be liquidy to where you can kind of pour it into the containers. So if it's looking more like biscuits, then add a little bit more liquid, because you want your cobbler topping to be runnier than like a biscuit type mixture. See those nice little bubbles starting to form from the baking powder. So it should be kind of about like that. And we're then going to grab this pan out of the oven. You can see that butter is melted. So we're going to just spoon in the batter. You can kind of see the batter here. I'm just going to spoon it in to the butter. It's okay if it's a little bit lumpy or when it's super lumpy, but you also don't want to beat it to the point where it's too smooth either. Alright. So you're not going to like over stir it, but just kind of smooth it to the point where it makes a nice cobbler type bottom. You want some of that butter to boil up into, or rise up into the peaches with the batter itself. Just kind of smooth it around, shake the pan a little bit, and you should be good to go. The peach cobbler is so easy and so fast. It's literally like the fastest dessert ever invented. Maybe not, but that would be close. So then you're gonna go ahead and take your peaches and dump them over top. I always drain just a little bit of the juice out. These are in heavy syrup. It's important that it's heavy syrup and not some kind of light syrup, because if it's light syrup, it's just gonna make a mess. It's not really gonna like combine nicely. You also want to pick out, if you're using canned peaches, you want to be careful and pick out any little pieces of stone, because there's nothing worse than biting down onto your peach stone. That really sucks. So you just kind of want to make sure that it is nice and evenly distributed throughout. Probably wondering what I'm doing next. I'm actually going to add a mango to this just because I'm kind of sad that I don't have fresh peaches. I want just a little bit of fresh fruit in here. So I'm just going to add a few mango slices to this just to add a little extra summer perk, summer freshness. I just can't wait to taste how delicious this is going to be with that ice cream, because homemade ice cream is literally the best. And if you make vanilla ice cream, then I don't know about you, but I can't just eat like vanilla ice cream every single day. I'm gonna want some kind of other flavor with it. So when it comes to desserts, it's nice to have something like a peach cobbler, or in this case, a peach and mango fusion cobbler, which I'm just making up. I don't know. Probably somebody else has done this before too, so if you've done it before, and then great minds think alike. You never know. I just know that the mangoes look so good at the store today, and the peaches looked awful. They're all wrinkly and hard, didn't look ripe in the slightest. And this is May. We also don't live in peach territory, like this is not Georgia, so I'm not quite sure. I think peach season is sort of gonna start soon, but I don't think it's the peak of peach season anywhere in May. Like I said, I made the ice cream, so I had to make peach cobbler, and hopefully this mango just makes it kind of like a little extra fresh. All right, so I'm just adding about half of that mango, and I am going to pop this in the oven. And again, the oven is preheated to 350. So, oh, we forgot cinnamon. Don't forget the cinnamon. Cinnamon is a very important part of the deliciousness. And this is what you want. Oh, well, that's baking. And again, it's going to bake for about 25 to 30 minutes or something like that. I can usually just smell it. You can literally smell when a dessert is done if you're baking, if you're a baker. You can be anywhere in the house and you can just kind of smell like, oh, it's done now. But my guess is that it's probably gonna be between 20 and 30 minutes. And while that's in the oven, guess what? I still have half of this mango that I'm going to eat. And we will be back and look at that peach cobbler and see how it tastes with the vanilla ice cream. Okay. I didn't want you to have to watch me eat that whole thing because mangoes have these little strings and get caught in my teeth. But anyway, a little pro tip: if you're a mom and you have if you have a baby who is teething, mango seeds are really good. Once you've kind of eating it down to where you can see the seed. You can kind of see the seed there. They're the best teether that I've ever used for a baby. I know it looks scary, but honestly they can't like fit the whole thing in their mouth. And so it's pretty safe, and especially if you're holding it and just letting them, like, it's very spongy and there's no way that they're gonna like break through that outer seed coating. Plus they get a little bit of those little like mango bits that are left after you've eaten the mango. We were in Antigua in 2016 and I was there helping set up a NGO for reducing recidivism rates for Black youth and young mothers. And Langston was 6 months old and I did not have any teethers with me. Excuse me. So Langston was 6 months old and I did not have any teethers with me because I did not expect him to cut teeth at 6 months old. None of my other kids cut teeth at 6 months old. So like, why was he all of a sudden teething once we got to Antigua with nothing to teeth on? So it conveniently happened to be mango season, which was super awesome. And one of the older ladies that I was working with, she was like, this is like, all my babies cut their teeth on mango seeds. And I was like, well, great, let's try it. And Langston cut all his teeth on mango seeds. The only downside was that once we got back home, and then he kept teething month after month, and the mangoes weren't in season, and they were a little expensive at the store, that he still wanted his mango seed to teeth on, so we had to buy a lot of mangoes to get through all the teething. But the point is, they're great for teething, and you should try it. If you have a baby who's teething, try a mango seed because they get that little bit of flavor, and it's also just a really great texture for them to like rub their gums into and safely teeth on without having to put some toxic plastic rubber thing in their mouth. Because most plastics do have some degree of toxin or toxicity, and are not honestly food. So it's better to put a food item in their mouth if you can. I just didn't know about it, and you don't know until you know. So I didn't know about it with Franklin or Isaiah, and now Langston came along and he teased and cut all his teeth on mango seeds, which also means that as the mom or the big brother, you get to enjoy a lot of mangoes, which Franklin actually loves mangoes. That's his favorite fruit of all time. So he was really on board with Langston teething on mango seeds because that meant Franklin got to eat all the mangoes. So anyway, just a little side note. Again, that cobbler is in the oven. It is baking, and we will check on it shortly. Have to peek into the oven and look at that nice peach cobbler. Can you see how the cobbler part of the whole thing has risen to the top? It's still baking. Finished result, and you can see that nice steam coming off of the peaches right next to the ice cream, and also you can see how nice and thick that ice cream is, and that cobbler is done just perfectly. So time to dig in. So good. Have to get some of the peach.